It is 8 o'clock and we are out of closed session. We are going to move to discussion action items. Workshop to discuss criteria and logistics of superintendent search conducted by impact education specialists. And Mr. Doug Williams. And if everybody could turn their mic on, I know it's uncomfortable, but the only way you'll be heard on YouTube is if you have your mic on.
Actually, we can turn them off.
Okay. Just kidding. We're gonna turn them off.
Yeah, we had a failure
Gotcha.
of our new stuff. So
Okay. Right. Work in
I was gonna
progress.
say,
Yeah.
if we were on YouTube,
Doing
I might
great.
be leaving, so.
Thank you, sir.
YouTube by yourself?
Huh?
Not YouTube by yourself?
Yeah.
So there's no YouTube tonight?
oh no, there is.
Oh.
It's just I had to pull out these instead.
Thank you, sir. Do we wanna try to run?
Oh yeah. So it's extending the display?
Yeah.
So is that what you want?
Yeah.
You want it to mirror it?
I'll hold it here.
Oh no.
Okay. If not, we can roll with what we got. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
This is weird. Right, y'all, we're going to kind of go through this a little bit. First of all, we appreciate the opportunity to work with you. I'm Doug Williams, retired superintendent at Sunnyvale ISD. When I retired, a group of us started a consulting company, Impact Education. There were, at the start, there were 4. We've now added a 5th partner. Actually added a 6th who's primarily working on the curriculum instruction side of the house. But she's actually going to be with us a little bit. Her name is Jennifer Settle. Myself, Kevin Worthy at Roy City, Stan Surratt from Lindale, Blake Cooper from Commerce, and then we've added a West Texas partner. We've got Keith Bryant. More than likely, you're going to see me quite a bit. Kevin will be here some, and Jennifer will as well. So it's great being with y'all. I'd like to find out who I'm working with. I know a couple of you guys, but I'll start here with Adam. So just tell me a little bit about yourself, your family, how long you've lived in Maypearl, how long you've been on the board. So.
Yeah, I'm Adam Smith. Been in Maypearl for about 4 years, 3-4 years, and I've been on the board for 2 years. I work for the Texas Department of Transportation. I don't have an education background, but been in construction. We moved here because of the schools and got on the board.
That's great.
Good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're not a board member, but I'll let you introduce
I'm
yourself.
not, but I'm Kristen Bushhaw, and this is my 19th year with the district. My husband and I moved to Maypearl in 2002, but have worked for the district for 19 years. I have been a teacher, assistant principal, curriculum director while in Maypearl, and I guess that's it.
Guess that's it. All right, Jared.
So Jared Wright, I've got 2 boys. My oldest just graduated last year. My youngest is a sophomore. Been married a long time. We've been in Maypearl since 21, February of 21. And I've been on the board 2.5 years.
Okay.
My name is Jeremy Norman. I am been married to my wife for a little over 15 years now, and we have 3 kids, 12, 9, and 6.
Kindergarten, third, and you lose track after a while, like seventh or something like that, which is crazy to me. But we actually moved into the area in January of 2021. I just had to beat him by 1 month, that's all that mattered. I've never been in education either, I'm in real estate, and I've been on the board since Adam got elected, so.
Okay.
We're our
1.5
second year.
years.
Second year, okay,
Yes, sir.
good deal.
Jerry Ramirez, been married for 21 years now. Got 3 kiddos, one graduated from Maypearl a couple years ago, and then I've got a freshman and a senior
Good
in
deal.
high school.
Got a senior in high school.
Senior in high school,
Okay.
yeah. And then been in the Maypearl area since October of 2013.
Tell me what your senior participates in.
He's not participating in anything in
Okay.
school itself.
All right.
Yeah.
Because the only reason I ask that is sometimes we do the search and then we get senior parents, and the senior parent will say, well, my daughter plays on the basketball team, and I'm thinking, all right, so that means Tuesday nights are out, right? You know, so we kind of have to work those kind of, you know, and so that's the reason I ask that. Because sometimes if they're a freshman, well, they're only a freshman, but if they're a senior, you want to be at that playoff game. So we try to do things like that. What about you, Steve?
Steve Cooper, I am married, have 2 kids, a 7th grader and a 1st grader. I've been in the Maypearl area since 2018. I've served the community of Ellis County for 16 years, law enforcement. We moved from the mid-cities to this area. Really love it. It is about our third year on the board. My daughter is in every sport. All
She's in every. In fact, we had lunch recently, and you shared with me a lot of the things that she's up to. So you guys stay busy. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to spend a little time talking about the search itself. Make sure that you're comfortable with where we are. One of the things that we do is, you're going to see it up on the screen. These are our profile development questions. I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and it is for y'all to share with me. Each superintendent search is different. Okay, it's like even though your school district may be similar to another one that we've done, the needs of this district are different. Where you are currently are different than some of the others that we've done. And so we don't walk in and operate with that preconceived notion that these are the issues, this is what we're looking for. And so we ask this from this. I'll go home tonight and I'm going to work on what we call the posting. I'll probably work on it over the weekend, especially Sunday. Sunday's weather's supposed to be bad, and the Cowboys don't play till 7. And so, but I'm going to work on the posting, and then my wife puts together something that we call the flyer. My wife is a retired English teacher. She retired when I did, taught AP English there in Sunnyvale as well. But we put those 2 documents together, and then we're going to try to post this job sometime on Tuesday. We want the posting to be personalized. We want it to tell the story of Maypearl and where the district currently is. And so the first question we ask is very important. I want you to tell me reasons a prospective superintendent should apply here. You're going to help me recruit. Now, part of what we do is we do just throw this out and we say, if you want to apply, send your paperwork to us, but we also do some recruiting. And so when I pick up the phone, and I already know 2 or 3 in this area that I think are good current superintendents, smaller schools, I'm going to pick up the phone and call and say, have you considered? The first question they're going to want to know is, why should I? And so what I want you to do is I want you to just take about 3 minutes. I want you to write down some of those reasons that you think someone should apply here, okay? All right, someone start. Someone kick me off. Why should someone apply here?
I put Maypearl ISD as a district you want to work, raise your family, and be part of a great community.
Okay, someone else.
Yeah, but along the same lines, the community has a family feel, small town atmosphere. But just like any family, you know, there's not always gonna be in total agreement. I feel like the mutual respect, everybody helps each other.
Yeah, you don't really know that concept until you've been to Thanksgiving dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone's flipping tables. I think we could talk through it.
Yep.
Along that line, the community's passionate about the district, they care. There's not a lot of community apathy when it comes to the district.
Okay.
I think through talking to a few people that we've already talked to, what they like about our school is leadership is a little bit more personal and not so distant. It's like a bigger school.
Yeah.
Kind of on the same lines as a smaller district.
We're in a growing community, which I think that's exciting, there's room for growth.
Growing and about to be that much more. Yeah. Took me an hour and 15 minutes to drive down tonight, y'all. Really did. Normally it's about a 50-minute trip, or it used to be anyway. So
Where'd you come from?
I still live in Sunnyvale.
I would say this district, has a lot of potential. The students and staff in this district have a lot of potential. And I just don't know that we have reached our full potential yet, but we definitely have the ability, to do great things.
Okay.
I think along those lines, I wrote this down. I said that I think that we have the right people in place in most, if not all, key positions to take the district to the next level.
I'm the worst typist ever, by the way.
Sorry.
You haven't seen me top.
Even worse if you think people are watching. Yes, it is for me.
And my dang hands are cold. Okay. Keep going. No wrong answers. Keep going.
I think this opportunity really presents a culture that the new superintendent can have ownership with and build for generations to come. Really, I don't know how to word that in there.
Yep. I go back and work a minute. I put in work. I put in one. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's kind of small. Hardworking kids. When I was superintendent at Sunnyvale and we competed against Maypearl, we knew we'd have to work 48 minutes if it was football or 7 innings if it was baseball. We really did. Just because y'all's kids competed, you worked hard, respectful. So.
I don't know if it's a selling point or not, but we really do have a cohesive board.
That is huge. So what they're gonna ask me is they're gonna ask me a couple questions. They're gonna say, and honestly, they don't say a whole lot about what's their scores. They just don't. They're gonna ask, first of all, tell me a little bit about their finances. And then they're gonna say, how's the board? Does the board get along with each other? Does the board have an agenda? If I say, well, you know, I only had to break up 2 fist fights, they might not apply for the job. Or you know, 3 of them got on the board because they were tired of the athletic director. You know, whatever that case may be, whatever that agenda is, it makes it difficult. And so cohesive board is, Jared, I'm gonna say it's very important. Very important. My time of greatest growth in Sunnyvale, we had 7 board members for 6 years without a replacement. All 7 of them, there was not an election for 6 years. And all of our kids all 8 of us had kids graduate from high school during that time. I mean, that was, we were marked, like-minded the whole work. So it was very important. Somebody else.
This probably goes along with some of the small town feel and the community and investment. But I think that in a small district, the superintendent has the ability to make a huge impact.
Okay.
I think in bigger districts, obviously a superintendent can do that too, but I think the ripple effect is bigger and seem greater here, and has the potential to be able to do that here.
One of the questions that I'm going to ask you is about qualities and characteristics, and a certain kind of character. The superintendent can make that much more of a big impact. We know that, right? Okay. Anybody else got one you want to put in?
I don't know how you phrase this, but I mean, I think I look forward to graduation every year because even though I don't have a kid, I've almost either seen them do something or at least know their name to see that sense of accomplishment versus, we graduate on average with about 90 kids a year and not 600 or 1,000. So.
And I can say as someone who's been here for 19 years, when I walk into high school now, I know I'm hugging kids that I was their principal when they're in elementary school. So, and that is big to me. That, I can still have conversations about how their academics are, how their mom is, how their grandma is,
Yes.
So that to me is huge.
Very much.
And I say that because I think that's why people are moving from big districts to here.
Yeah.
The more I talk to them.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. Personal education experience.
It's more personal.
Yeah.
I moved from a big district here with the mindset that we wanted our kids to be in a small district. And I have one that went all the way through. He graduated 2 years ago, and one that's a junior. And I can say they still love to see the second grade teacher or that. And so I definitely consider many of those people part of my village as a parent. And so I hope to be part of some of these kids' village as well. So I think that community again is a big deal.
You mentioned a while ago finances. I think financially we are in good spot. We don't need someone to come in and save us on that end.
Okay. All right. So transition back to the slide deck really quick. So there was the question that we worked on. So the next thing, I do want to talk a little bit about our process itself. Tonight's the profile. We are going to be looking at the profile. Community input sessions. Community input sessions will happen pretty quick after we get back from the holidays. We plan on being in town on January the 8th. We will meet at that time. We will meet with the administrators. I had 4 o'clock. I may wind up moving them up a little if that's okay before school gets out. That way it would give me the opportunity to meet with one of the campuses after school, meet with the teachers, and then I'll stay. The 6 o'clock meeting will be with the community. And again, Kristen, I'll lean on you as to where you want that meeting to be held. Probably we'll want to talk to you first part of next week because I send out an email that will invite all of the community members to that session. And I'll tell them where the meeting's going to be. This room would be perfect, really. Technology access, just a place for, I like to put them around tables if possible so that they can talk a little bit. And we ask them very similar questions. We ask them what are the strengths, what are some areas to address, and then we also ask them what qualities, characteristics are you looking for in the next leader. By the way, I give you all an A+ on the fact that I sent that link to you, and you've got over 25 names. That's normally, I kind of feel like the classroom teacher having to chase in on the homework on some of the board members. You've done a good job. So we're going to be able to send that out next week. I like to do that, give them a couple weeks, and I know next week with Christmas, or the following week would be Christmas, we'll try to send it out next week. So Kristen and I will get that set up. We're going to do something different with your campuses. When I met with the officers, we talked about the need for your faculty members to have a feel that they matter, they were important. There's a little bit of a feeling that there's some disconnect. And so instead of doing one meeting and saying, y'all come to this room and set up and, send your department heads or send your lead teachers or whatever, I'm going to go to every campus. Every teacher will be invited, and we will be able to get some good feedback from them. We'll do it 3 different days. Again, normally it's only 50 minutes, and I'll try to get here before the traffic gets stupid. And so we'll set up. I'll meet with them. One day will be when I'm with everybody else, and then I'll come in 2 other times, just so that I'm able to meet with any teacher that wants to come can come, and I'll send something to Kristen. She can send that out to them and kind of do an invite, but we'll set that up. I think that's an important step so that they've got feedback. From that, you'll get a report from me. The report, in looking at it, I'll be here on a Thursday. I probably won't have it that Friday board or that search update. You'll get it the following week. But what that will do is that's going to tell you just some of those key concepts and some things that you'll want to look at. One of the things that we do from those sessions is we come up with what we call the ideal superintendent profile. And it's about a 1-paragraph, 4 or 5 sentences. It says, here are the qualities and characteristics. This is what they're looking for, strengths in this area, whatever. I'm going to encourage you to read it before we start going through the selection process. And then I'm going to send it back to you right before the second round of interviews. And I'll talk to you more about that in a minute. The first time I'm with you, I'm going to bring in every candidate in a spreadsheet. I'll show you what the spreadsheet's going to look like in a minute. From there, from that spreadsheet, it will have the strengths of the candidate listed out. We're going to have a criteria rank score. We will also have a score that's going to give the partner rank. The 3 of us will sit down, we'll look at the paperwork, and we're going to evaluate them on their readiness to come do this job. There are some that we're going to know directly, or we're going to know somebody that knows. And so that's going to be able to give us an idea, a lot more idea of whether or not that person looks good on paper, or they sound good on paper, but they can't do the job, or they don't. That makes sense. And so we're going to help y'all sort through that. That night that I'm with y'all for that, and I gave you the calendar, we are scheduled to be here for January the 22nd. That'll be a Thursday night. What we will do there is we will go through each of them. Now, there'll be some that it won't take long. That person will be a lead teacher at a charter school. They're not ready to be your superintendent. Okay, I'm not knocking charter schools, but that's not what you're looking for. So there'll be some that we'll be able to knock off the list pretty quick. There's going to be some that you go, absolutely, we want to take a further look at. And it's kind of like winning an election. Those people in the middle are the ones we'll have to spend most of the time with. Okay, and so, but we'll do that. It's a process that, honestly, my favorite night, maybe of all, is that first night that we're together. That night, our job will be to select who y'all want to invite to send a video. Video's 5 minutes. We're going to ask them 2 questions. The 2 questions are, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your family, those kinds of things, kind of like y'all did. And then the second question is, why do you want to be the superintendent in Maypearl? I don't want someone that wants to be a superintendent. I want someone that wants to be here. And that's very important. And so when you listen to it, there'll be some that'll say, it'll be evident that they've done their homework and they know a little bit about Maypearl. Some, it'll be the same thing that they say if it was Maypearl or if it was Health Center. And Health Center's just north of Lubbock, and we're going to be doing one at Health Center starting in January, okay? We don't want somebody that's going to apply for both. We want somebody that wants to be here. And so that's important. That night, you'll hear you're going to hear the videos. You'll see the videos. Probably in this room, you'll see the videos. And then the resumes will be sent out in advance. Okay, I'm going to send those resumes to you in advance, so you'll be able to get familiar with the candidates before, and then you'll look at the videos. From there, you're going to select who you want to interview. The interviews, you'll have a first round interview We recommend 4 to 6, something like that. Those interviews would be set to take place mid-February. Right now, I have the 10th through the 12th. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. If you interview 3, we recommend that you interview 2 a night. You do a 5:30 interview, go about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, take a break, get you something to drink, get you something to eat, get your mind clear, and then the second one comes in at 7:30. At the end of that, if it's the third night, if it's Thursday, February 12th, more than likely it will be me that will come in and help y'all deliberate. What we do in deliberation is, do you want to bring 1 back? Do you want to bring 2 back? Do you want to bring 3? And really, it's your call, okay? No set number. We did Greenville and Edgewood. They were the 2 that once they interviewed, they were all together. They said, we want to bring 1 back, and they did. And it was successful. Ennis was different. Ennis had 4 that they really liked, and Ennis brought 4 back. That's just kind of it's y'all's call. And so we'll do that. That'll be the second round interviews. I want to tell you the first round interviews, something that we do is we're going to give you all a list of about 60 questions that we've come up with. These are some superintendent interview questions, questions that my team has come up with, but some, as we've done this 2.5 years, if there's a question that a board member has that maybe was not on the list, we've added it in. If it's a good question, we keep, we keep that, we use that. Y'all pick the questions you want to ask, okay? And again, like I said, if there's a question you want to ask that's not on there, you send me an email and say, Doug, I'd like to ask a question about. I'll give you an example. One of the school districts wanted to ask a question about student discipline. We put that question on there, okay? So that's just the way the thing works. The second round, and by the way, the first round interview, you'll have packets. You'll have packets for the interview questions. We recommend that every candidate gets asked the same question the first round. Why apples to apples? Second round is different. Second round, when you bring in the candidates for the second round, want to make sure that y'all are comfortable. And so again, we're going to send y'all that profile again. We want y'all to be able to read and that kind of talk about quality and characteristics. That really brings that back to the top. The second round, we recommend that it's a follow-up from your first round. First round, you ask a question, you think, well, I should have asked Doug the question on, he said something about a great program he had in place. Tell me more about that program. That's those kinds of questions. We can give you a set list of some questions you might want to ask, but most of the time that good second round interview is really just y'all going back and looking at the notes from the first round. So that's the second round. At the end of the second round, we hope that you're able to decide this is the person we want to name as lone finalist. We actually have that set for sometime the week of February 24th. Right now we've got two nights, the 24th and 25th. If you had to add that third night, it would be February 26th. You'll name a lone finalist. And again, we'll be here for you with the deliberation process. One of the things that we want to do for you is, I've got a ballpark what Richie made, okay? Let's say that you're ready, you want to bring the new superintendent in at $160,000. If you name a lone finalist and we have not done our work in advance and you want to pay $160, but that lone finalist wants $200, we've got a problem, okay? We're going to take care of that on the front end. I'll be working with Jared. We'll kind of have some salary parameters. In fact, you're going to get from us sometime around when we do the video work, you're going to get some salary ranges from us, comparable school districts in the area, some things like that, things you can look at. And then from there, we'll work with Jared, we'll work with the candidates that are coming back from the second round, and they're going to know until when you name them lone finalists, we want it to be the person that y'all pick. One thing that we do, that we believe is, we don't believe in coming in and saying, here's the 6 people y'all need to interview. Why? Because if the person y'all pick 3 years from now doesn't work out, we don't want you thinking, well, golly, I wonder who candidate 7 was that we didn't get to see. That's not the way we work, okay? We're gonna make sure that y'all are comfortable with who y'all have. Anything on the process before we move forward?
For some of these earlier meetings, like community and administrators and staff and stuff like that, any board members need to be there?
No, sir.
No, okay.
Here's why. And I'm gonna, so the administrators, I need a chance to sit with them, even without the interim there. They need to be as completely candid with me as necessary. And we don't ask them to say, when you've got an opinion, we're not gonna attach a name to it. If that makes sense. We want them to be, to share that. With the teachers the same way. We want the teachers to be able to speak, and if there's a program that a principal's put in that they feel like it's harming instruction, I want them to be able to share it. And so the principals won't be there when the teachers are sharing with me. With y'all, the community members, we want the community members to be able to speak freely, and I know they do. But yet, for that, we feel like it's best that the board members are not present for that. But you're going to get that report from us. So, yeah, you're going to know exactly what's going on.
That all makes sense. I just need to know if we
Yeah.
put it on the calendar or no.
No, so don't worry about that. Here are the key times, and I've got them listed for you. And I don't know if we need to go back through that or not. But there are the calendar and the key dates. If there's something that comes up that right now, everything looks good, but something happens, communicate with Jared, or send me an email, whatever. Just let me know, and we'll work around it. Ideally, I would love for all 7 of you to be at every function as much as possible. I don't want there to be a situation that, well, I didn't interview Joe, and 3 years from now, Joe's not yours. Okay, we want whoever y'all name to be the lone finalist, and whoever y'all hire to be your person. So it works best if everybody's together. All right, we're going to go to the next. So I've got 2 more profile development questions, and then a little homework assignment that you'll actually do here. So what are some areas the district must address? That's the first question. And then the second one, you go ahead and work ahead. Tell me some qualities and characteristics you believe that are most important for the next superintendent for Maypearl. What are those qualities and characteristics that you believe are the most important for the district? I'm going to unplug. Uh-oh. What I do?
You just unplugged it?
Oh, I did. And then, qualities and characteristics you believe are the most important in the next superintendent.
Ready for them?
Y'all ready? By the way, just so that I've captured everything, I am gonna ask for y'all's scribblings, is that okay? So I'll take it back. Yeah, I'll take it back with me. I wanna make sure I've captured everything. Because I will be working some this weekend. There's not even, well, Army neighbor, I guess that's only college game tomorrow, so. All right, you ready?
My spelling.
Adam?
I would just say challenges are teacher retention, I think, across the state in general.
Very much.
But I would like to create a culture across the district where teachers want to come here and stay. There, you know, where you could offer money somewhere else, but that there's culture so great here that money might not be worth it.
Yep. Very good. Steve?
Student growth and achievement. Maypearl ISD to be the top 3A school district in the state of Texas in growth and achievement. Professional development of our staff. And then lastly, I'll put community and public trust. Really what I meant by like the development of professionals, like training,
Yes.
you know, them to replace you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that transition plan. Yep. The other thing that I think that small schools struggle with, and I say that because we were, in fact, Maypearl is not even considered small anymore, mid-sized, right? I think it is personalized professional development for teachers. We can't tell you the number of times that we would offer something for them, and it might have been really good for the English teachers, but the science teachers were thinking, what in the world have you done? And so I think that I even like the how do you keep those teachers? Well, you pay them well, you treat them well, you give them autonomy, but they're also growing in their craft too, and I think that's important. I really do.
Well, and a couple of those, I think, go together for us, you know, what Mr. Smith said about retention. Because we have a high turnover rate, that level of professional development is compounded. We're constantly playing catch up to train those new people and find the holes where there's someone new or someone who doesn't know. So I think if we can, you know, increase our retention rate, that helps with the professional development concerns that we have.
Jerry?
We need somebody with a strong vision of where we can go, and then a plan to execute it.
And by the way, you don't have, if you're not willing to carry out the plan, don't come up with a vision.
Correct.
Yep. Have y'all done a strategic plan in a while?
That's
Yes,
funny,
sir. We
funny
actually
question,
have.
sir.
We did one 4 years ago, and then we have actually, we're in the process of beginning one and with a partnership with Region 10 this year, but we have kind of stopped temporarily.
And you need to. I would recommend that when the new superintendent comes in, you give them about 6 months and then start another one. Why 6 months? Because they need to know where the coffee pot is before they can actually start planning for what it looks like.
I've actually got some notes from one of the gentlemen who's not here today,
Uh-huh.
so I'll kind of toss out what he's got here. He says transparent, doesn't pass blame, strong character, and highly involved in extracurriculars in the community. And I'll send you his notes as well. If you want all our scribbles, I'll send you his.
Doesn't pass blame, what next?
Doesn't pass blame, strong character, and then highly involved.
In fact,
Qualities.
that may need to, let's see, I want to do this if you don't mind. Can I do this?
Yeah.
Okay,
Gotcha.
how about that? Because that sounds more like the next one, but very important. Okay, someone else.
On the qualities too, I would like to say an effective communicator.
Okay.
Strong communication skills are valuable.
I would say fair, consistent, and thorough.
You're pushing the spelling.
Sorry,
There we go.
I can see it, I held it, but I can't.
I left out that O.
Okay.
Okay, what other needs of the district?
I would also say that we need a high level of accountability and expectations for everyone involved, students, staff. I would say staff first,
Parents.
and parents, and then students.
All right.
As we should be setting the example as adults for the students.
It's somebody that can take a look at the culture of the district and fortify it.
Okay. Keep going.
I would say student academic performance. And I say performance, I think our kids are capable and have that potential we talked about earlier. We just have to help them to perform better than what we have.
Where do you measure that? What do you look at?
So I would start with instruction.
Okay.
Because I think the output is the student performance. I think the input is the teacher and instruction.
Are you talking STAR, EOCs? Are you talking?
All of it.
All of it?
Daily,
Okay.
STARS and EOC are in performance,
Mhm.
but if that's all we look at, then I think we're missing opportunities daily.
We're missing a lot of it if we only look at STAR and EOC, in my opinion.
And that's the majority of what's brought to us is
Right.
the map data, STAR data, EOC data. Right?
You've got an interesting mix of kids. You've got some that, from the time they start school, they're always talking about the next educational opportunity. You've got some that are completely want to enter the work world, be it CTE programs or things like that. And I think that that evaluation is a part of your academic performance as well. How are we preparing students for what they want to do after? Very important. Someone else?
I think in, what, did you have? No, go ahead, sorry. Schools are really under fire from every angle,
Very much.
right? And one of, the key things, I know we go through crisis after crisis, and it may be a big one, it may be a small one, but to have someone in the face of that crisis that says, this is the plan, this is how we're gonna get out of it. And I don't know how to really articulate that in a leadership style, but just a strong sense of presence.
I think that a lot of times we get into a lot of firefights, we just go fight fires, right? Put this in a whack-a-mole, it's kind of, I guess, the vision in my head. And we need somebody that sees the whole board and says, okay, we'll deal with that. We've got a bigger plan that we're working on here, right? And, is able to kind of see that whole thing and not just the mole that's up at the time.
Proactive, not reactive.
Proactive, not reactive. I like that.
Next year.
You said it.
Really.
Just put it in 3 words.
Teamwork, bro. Teamwork.
Cohesive.
Someone else?
I would say someone who can help us to be consistent across campuses. For as small of a district as we are, I always say, we have 3 campuses that are just separated by parking lots. but sometimes it feels like we're three islands that are floating around in different directions, and, I feel like the more we can streamline things across the district, pre-K-12, and the more we're all cohesive, in our processes, procedures, then we are just separated by parking lots. We're not islands. We're one big continent, I guess, together. So just some consistency across campuses, I think that would help
Very
a lot.
systematic.
Yes, a lot of our,
We
some
talked a
of
lot
our
about
issues.
systems, voting systems and processes.
I will say, I think it is unique to like school districts. Part of my career, I supervise all the school resource officers at Logan ISD. There's tons of elementary schools, there's two high schools, and everyone is like, and they do take ownership, and it's like, but it's their island, you know, and having that perspective of, you know, all of us.
I think it's important it was always important to me to give complete autonomy to my campus principals for the things that they were directly in charge of, but there were certain things that had to be mine, if that makes sense, you know? And really, sometimes it almost came down to, well, student discipline is an example, right? If, you know, Adam did this on the middle school and Jerry did that on the high school, you both probably needed to get 3 days by assess. You know, Jerry didn't need to just get a good talking to, and then, you know, Adam got sent home for a stretch. You know, and some of that, I think it was making sure that everybody was kind of on that same page, is what y'all are saying. And then the word that I included was expectations. What are the expectations of the district? And is that from here to here, right? Someone else?
On the quality, I was thinking, ownership, that
Okay.
ultimately, if the superintendent, it falls on them. Under this, you know, whatever they set in place, you can't say, well, that was their fault.
You know, one thing that Steve said was, I want Maypearl to be the top performing school district in Conference 3A. You know how you're going to accomplish that? You're going to accomplish it with a superintendent at the start that's a competitive individual. You know, for those of y'all that did not know me back then, I was competitive. Maypearl beat us in something, I left here mad, you know, not out of control, but you know, but competitive. You know, whether it's academics, whether it's extracurricular, whatever it is, if we're going to do it, let's be the best. And I think that when you take ownership, you take things personally from the standpoint that, you know, I feel along with you. So yeah. Anybody else?
I would want them to be, from a leadership style, to be a micromanager, because I think that's a quick way to lose good leaders.
Yep.
For sure.
I like that. I was struggling with it. How about that? Okay. We are. All right. So one of the things that we do, and we talked about this. So I'm just showing y'all an example of it. So this is the rank sheet. When we get a resume letter of interest in, crosses my desk, more than likely these will come directly to me. I will take them, I'm going to assign them a number. All right, so the first thing that you see, and the reason they're assigned a number is in the folder that we have, we don't look at this situation, we don't look at Kevin Worthy. Kevin Worthy's it's resume number 2 or letter number 2 or whatever. And then it allows us to kind of how we communicate, and we just want to make sure everybody kind of, we don't get anybody lost, so to speak, in our folders and the whole work. That's all the number means. It's not our rank or anything. That's just where we are. So I've just showed y'all this, and this is an example of Worthy. So Kevin Worthy from Roy City is the superintendent, longtime superintendent, Region 10 Superintendent of the Year. He was in 22. Really good golfer. And the reason I put that is I always gave him a hard time that if you show me a good golfer, you show me a poor superintendent because he's playing way too much golf, is what I said. That was just
Following me against it.
yeah, that was just mine and Worthy's joke. And I told him that that's why he was a better golfer than I was, because I was a better superintendent than he was. But what we do is we go in and we score these, okay? So superintendent experience, he would get 3 points. Central office, you get one of the two. You don't get both, okay? So if you're superintendent, you get 3. But if you were not a superintendent, but you were an assistant superintendent or a curriculum director, you get 2. Were you a principal, you get 2. Do you have experience in finance? Kevin did. He was in Gunner, so he would get that. Maybe curriculum instruction, he'd get 1. Was he in a similar school district? And then we look at something we call stability. Now, this is an example of how one school district rated, okay? It's not magical. And the sheet that I gave y'all, if you want to flip it over now, these are some criteria that we came up with. And there's 12 of them. But what it shows you is, if you'll look, it shows you that in this rubric, this example, Kevin scored 9 points. Now I will tell you, Kevin knows CTE as well, so we probably would have given him a 10, but I don't ever want him to think he's perfect. But then if you'll look here, it also populates partner. So in partner, it shows Kevin Worthy, Roy City, same information, and then I would rate him. And because he plays way too much golf for me, I'm just going to give him a 3.5. All right, and then on the rank total, it'll actually rank it. I haven't set this cell up. Well, here you go. But what it will do is it will actually rank it, and we'll get a numeric number. I could go back and look at it. I haven't set this cell up yet. But what this does is it'll show you what your criteria score is, it'll show you what the partner score is, and then you'll get a total. That's how we rank the candidates. The night you see them, you're going to get this from us, and what we call our board presentation sheet. And it's going to have every candidate in there. It's going to have the criteria score, it's going to have the partner score, it's going to have the total. We start with the lowest number. So the first candidate up there is not going to be candidate 2. We're going to start with the lowest number again. It won't take you very long to go through the first 10 to 15. Why? Because they really don't qualify for the job, in our opinion. Now, that night, if Jerry looks at it and he goes, this guy here, I'd really like to take a deeper look at him, we'll take a deeper look at him, okay? You don't have to have 4 votes, so to speak. If one of you says, well, let's take a deeper look, we can, all right? But that's the sheet that you're going to get from us. It has notes and information. In that notes and information, if we come up with something, and I can tell y'all, not for here, but if we do searches and the person that applies for the job, we know that person's poor reputation or not a good reference or something, we're going to put it up there. This is going to be in closed session, and I would rather share with y'all the straight, honest truth. And if y'all decide y'all still want to go forward, that's up to you. But at least y'all got the information. Does that make sense? All right, so here's what we're going to do. This sheet's going to look different. And this is actually the one we're going to use for y'all. And I'll be developing it over the weekend. Criteria here is just what we use for another school district. I just wanted to use it as an example. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go through on the sheet that I gave you. I want you to check X, something like that, 8 boxes. Of those 8 boxes, those are the 8 things that you feel like need to be a part of the criteria, and the ones that get the most votes are the ones we're going to use. Okay? And then I'll let y'all know kind of the ones that we're going to pick. Normally, superintendent experience carries the most weight because I know that y'all would love to have someone that's actually had the job somewhere. Okay? And so that's normally the reason we give them, 3 points, something like that. So, okay? You'll spend a few minutes, and then if you don't mind, give me both sheets of paper, and I'm going to take those with me.
this
Yes, sir. It's gonna give me some homework
in our notes.
and your notes, if you don't mind. You don't have to put your name on your notes. Thank you.
So when you have on here other leadership experience, what are the things you're talking about?
You know, that was actually one that another school district that we did came up with, Jared. It was that person everywhere on the resume. Not only were they a high school principal, but they were the athletic director. They were the CTE chair. They led art meetings. Just looked like that. They always kind of rose to leadership, if that makes sense. Hall monitor when they were in high school, whatever. Yes, sir.
I'll email you my notes.
Okay.
I have my notes, but I wrote them on the back of this. And I'll just take a picture about that.
That'll work. I can send you a copy of that.
That would be great.
You send me that email, and then you'll get that right back.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you. Then here are my notes.
Okay, y'all, we're about to come to the end of our time. I guess the last thing is this. I think you've got my information, but here it is. What questions do you have? Questions do you have about the process?
Besides making our schedule available, is there anything else we need to be working on?
Not right now. If you've given me those names, and those contacts, that's great. Next week, I'll send those invites out. Kristen and I will work on the location, and then the dates for me to come in and visit with your campuses. Other than that, I think y'all are good. The next thing that we'll have, but it probably will be the middle of January, we'll actually, I'll send y'all the list of questions, same way. Share it in the Google format, and you'll just put your initials next to the ones you want to ask.
And I'm gonna go ahead and pretend like these dates are in stone.
Okay.
So that I can tell the guys, hey, go ahead and start marking your calendars up now.
That'll work.
So this is-
Now, the fewer dates y'all move, the better I like it, because I'm lined up with anything else I'm doing. So.
One more name to put on that list.
Yes, Steve, you can just embed it in the Google Drive if you can, or send it to me and I'll put it in there anyway. What questions?
Jeremy?
No others?
So the initial meeting, like we're watching videos.
The
You know,
initial,
we're picking,
the initial meeting, I'm gonna bring that rank sheet to you.
Okay.
Then from that, you're gonna pick who you want videos from. A week later, I'm gonna come back with the videos.
okay, and then we pick who we're gonna go first round, so then we pick
Yeah.
who we're going
You'll
second
pick
round.
you'll pick who you want to interview from the videos.
Is it okay with you if I have my two guys who last minute weren't able to be here, watch the YouTube video and shoot you?
Did you make that?
Absolutely. Yep. Have them get it to me pretty quick, because,
Thursday. Tell them.
yes.
I did that.
Yeah, to Monday, I'm gonna be I'll be writing up the profile, the posting, that kind of stuff, so. And then my wife takes the notes and she comes up with, what are they looking for and why do you need to apply here? She thinks that, does that, so. Okay,
Where all does this get posted, just on ours?
so it's gonna get posted on, our site, impact education specialist, which not many check it, but people are starting to, figure it out, so we're getting some check. The two big ones are TexasISD.com. It's been around forever. Not a well-run website, but they do post it. And when they post it, people look on that site. The other one is TASA. The TASA site, it'll be posted on that. It'll also be posted on a place called TexasSuperfine.com. It's brand new, state of the art. I love it because it's easy. I can go on there, I can put my attachments on there and it posts automatically. Texas ISD, I have to wait on them and it makes it a little bit more problematic. And then the fifth place is, it'll be on y'all's site and then on Region 10. So,
If we have people that are already sending us resumes,
send them to me.
just send them towards you.
Yep, send them to me.
So I got a folder of resumes, I'll just start. sending
Wow. Okay, send them to me. Actually, send them to me because I want a cover letter as well. Here's why I want the cover letter. I don't want somebody that just sends resumes all over the country. I want somebody that will write me a letter and say, this is why I'm interested in this job. Okay, it's kind of that next step. So.
Sounds good.
Okay. Y'all, it's been a long week. I'm going home.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Wayne.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Doug.
But, there's no further discussion, no dissension, meeting adjourned.
Good job.